So here's the thing, man. You got to be delusional for a time. For the longest time, you got to believe in something that doesn't exist. Frank Kafka once said, by believing so passionately in something that does not yet exist, we create it. One thing to realize is that you got to be the guy, you know, who's standing in front of empty land and who can see the final house that is going to be built. Even though there's nothing there, even though it's a flat plot of land, he can still see the house, the final product and the beauty of it. He can still vividly imagine everything about the house, and he can imagine it so perfectly that it becomes real. It comes to life. So in essence, that is actually what you got to do. You got to believe so deeply. You got to have this delusion, you know, be delusional for a time. You need it. It's like, you know, you're going to achieve something big, but you don't have the evidence right now to make you believe. That's where you need to create and falsify this belief, this faith. You need to have blind faith for the longest time before things actually start to take a turn. And when you come to realize something like this, it just changes your environment. You realize that you know, God gave you this imagination faculty. Like, I can tell you right now to imagine an elephant, a pink elephant. I can tell you to imagine an airplane, a train, and you can imagine those things perfectly in your mind. You see, why did God give you that perfect ability to imagine things in your mind, things that are not in front of you? He gave you that imagination faculty so that you can imagine your dreams and bring them into reality. That is the point. It's to create something from nothing, to create and, you know, make something of yourself. So you got to believe in yourself even when nobody else does. Like, believe in your success, believe in the self-improvement, your journey, your everything about yourself. Believe in yourself. And then eventually, you know, people will start to believe in you because you believe in yourself. But at the beginning, most people aren't going to believe in you. Most people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you can actually achieve these things. But that is when you need to create belief. You need to create faith. And that's the thing. All men have this innate desire to conquer the world, you know, something to achieve something greater than themselves. And when we just ignore this desire, that is where feelings of depression and anxiety come from. They come from being docile. They come from not letting yourself achieve the things that you know deep down you want to achieve. You know, materialistic, non-materialistic things, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because we have this desire to achieve something beyond ourselves. And that is why once you put this desire, you suppress it, you know, that is where these negative emotions come from. Think about this. The warlike man attacks himself under peaceful conditions. What that means is our bodies are actually supposed to be going through these things. They're supposed to be fighting and in war and in this constant, intense environment, but yet we sit at home all day, and that's where the problem arises. So it's like, you got to disappear, get off the grid, and, you know, come back successful, come back, you know, somebody completely new, somebody completely transformed. And in order to do that, you need some type of delusion. You're gonna have to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. That's the thing. So forget about everyone. You have a dream, you have something, you have an ambition, something you want to achieve. Just go for it. You know, it's your dream, and God gave you that dream for a reason, because He knows you have the strength to fulfill it. He wouldn't have given you those challenges if He didn't know you had the courage and the strength to fight and overcome them. And He wouldn't have given you that dream unless He knew that you have the power to make it a reality. It's like, I remember I had 200 subs on my main channel. It's like, I was at the very, very beginning a year ago, you know, some time ago, and it was like, if I told someone I want to have 1 million subs, who's gonna believe me? You know, I'm just a guy, just a kid with 200 subs, you know, who's gonna believe me? But, you know, the more time goes on, the more people start to believe, okay, this is actually a possibility. I see that this guy doesn't give up. I see that this guy keeps putting work in every single day. He uploads like a maniac, you know, with this insane schedule of daily uploads. That is when they slowly start to believe. And that's because you're believing in yourself. You're giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. You're allowing yourself to carry on with this delusion until it becomes a reality. Everything is stupid. Everything is silly. Everything is foolish until you become successful at it. And then people ask you for opinions, you know, people ask you for advice, and they want to look up to you. But until the point where you become successful at what you're doing, people are going to say it's weird, you know, people are going to look at you in a weird way. People are going to doubt you and not believe in you, and that's fine. That is the process. That is what you have to go through. You see, everyone went through that, and everyone goes through something like that. It's part of the story. It's part of the process, the grind. And the sooner you realize that that's just the nature of life, and it's not like people are against you, but they just can't understand you. Nobody can understand you like you can understand yourself. If you tell your dream to someone, they're going to laugh at you. But if you show them the results after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to laugh at themselves. Here's one thing to realize. If you are the only one who believes in yourself, and when I say nobody, I mean nobody believes in you, that's fine, you can still win. But if the whole world is rooting for you, if 7 billion people on this planet believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to succeed. You're going to fall. That is why, in a sense, your self-belief comes above all, you know. If you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter who doesn't believe in you. You can still win. You can still push through. And in that sense, your delusion is what carries you along. It's what pushes you to the next, you know, to the next milestone, to the next day, to the next progress. It's like step by step, you just keep carrying on this delusion. You have that belief. You have that glimmer of hope. It's like being in a dark tunnel, you know. You can see that small glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel. And it's like, more you just follow the light, the more it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until you eventually escape the tunnel and all you have is light. It's the same thing in those times of darkness. You're going to have small bits of hope lying around, and you just have to hold on to that hope so that you can push through and make it through another day. And then eventually it's just going to be from darkness to light. So use that to transform your life. Use that to become somebody new. You got to disappear in that sense and just, let people be completely confused. Like, how did this guy make such an amazing transformation? People are not going to hear from you for a while, Like, you're going to have to go be selective with the people you spend time with. You're going to have to cut some things off, say no to some things so you can say yes to the things that matter. And of course, you can socialize. It doesn't mean going ghost. Doesn't mean like avoiding all social interactions. You should socialize, but you just don't tell people what you're doing, People ask you what you do all day. You don't tell them you're on the grind. And to everyone else from the outside, it's like you're living an average life. You're doing average things, but it's like, what you're doing. You know how you're spending your time, and people can't see that. And then they eventually see the results and they're jealous of what you have, but not how you got it, not the pain that you went through to get to that result, that outcome. So that's it. You just got to be delusional for some time, for a long time, before things actually start to make sense, before you start to actually get the hang of what you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of times of confusion, a lot of times where you don't know exactly how things are going to turn out, but you just hold on to that delusion. You believe in yourself when nobody believes in you, and then eventually you win, and people ask you for advice, people ask you for opinions, and they look up to you. So I'm down to make videos like these every single day. If you like these videos, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. You got this, bro.